guys. Welcome to Designers Who First Design Challenge. And basically, if you're new here, what we do at Designers Who is to basically share resources and information to, people who are just getting into design or people who are thinking about starting their design journey. And today, our first challenge is to design a ride-sharing app like Uber. Well, in this example, I will be using Uber as a design challenge. So basically, what we want to do, what we would like to achieve is to design an app, design an Uber app using Material UI. And what exactly is Material UI? It's basically an open source UI component library that allows engineers to build faster. Well, I use it as a designer because it really allows me to have a starting point from where I create my designs. So, like, you have access to this large UI library where you can just use that as a foundation and build your UI elements on top of it. So when I say build, I mean customize. So you can sort of control how they look, and it also supports accessibility as well. So I find that this is a better way for me to start rather than, building components from scratch. So it's just really cool. And go over to MUI.com to learn more about it. So yeah, this is an example of what Material UI looks like. So this is a design kit that I got from the Figma community. So you have like badges, buttons, overlays, cards, different things. So it's something that you could just pick out from the UI kit and customize to fit the design that you like to use. So obviously Uber has their own design system, which is very detailed and very well, it's Uber, so so you know that everything is very detailed and organized. So yeah, just back to our design file. So yeah, so hi. So yeah, my name is Priye, and in this video, I will show you how to use material components, so MUI, to design a quick, clean, and easy UI like Uber. Um, So I've just added the screenshots here as a guide into what the Uber UI looks like. You can always just come back and look at how it looks like. And we're going to create each component and each page just like how Uber's design is, but we're going to use material elements. So just to show you how you can do this with um, your own apps that you design, how to go about it. I've also added um, resources. So I'll show you where to get these resources from. So for example, the material UI design file, material UI design kit. If you wanted to use them later, you can see there's a lot of elements on here. There's also another one that is, there's also another one you can get from MUI, but then this is this design kit is paid. I don't know if you're looking to sort of buy a design kit. So this is about $79. So if you don't want to buy MUI for Figma, you can just like use the design kits that I provide in this video. I also add a link where you can download all these resources that I speak about in this video from, our Gumroad on Designer too. So you can get it for free. And that's just one of the perks of our design community, just getting resources for free. So yeah, let's just get into the video. So this is a mobile app. First of all, I'm going to create a frame. So let's use 375 on iPhone 13. Yeah. So I'm going to start off with creating the homepage. I'm just going to put these two next to each other so I have a guide as to what I'm creating. Obviously, if you're designing an app, you know what to look out for per se, but then I'm just like trying to recreate the Uber app. So it would be nice if it looked similar. So yeah, put these two next to each other. Name my page home. Oh yeah, sorry. Before I start, let me just go through the design file. So obviously by now you have downloaded the design file. You've seen an example of what we're trying to create with this tutorial. Over here we have just some extracts that I took from the MUI design kits. So I have lists, buttons, tabs, cards, progress indicators, nav bars, and some other ones. And here are some excerpts that I took from Uber's design system. So yeah, like I said, those files are overwhelming for new designers. So we can see what the buttons on Uber's design system looks like. Their pills, these are their brand colors. We have a blue accent and black and gray. The typography, they use the Uber Move font file, which you can also get from the design file that you downloaded that has this Figma file in there. You can also get it from a link that I've provided over here. And then we have their components. We can see how they do their overlays, their title components, and we're just going to create all of this using MUI. So yeah, let's get into it. At first, we can see that we have a tab, so rides and delivery. I'll also show you some plugins as well that you could use for icons here on Figma, so you wouldn't have to start looking for an icon pack somewhere else. So yeah, so let's get into our tabs. So yeah, we can have like different tab styles. We have the tabs without icons. We're looking to use this one, so with icons. At the side, so I'm just going to copy this, bring it over to my frame. Just probably add a layer grid. So over here, add a plus. I want columns. Yeah, I'll use 5 for now. So yeah, I'm going to paste our tab over here. I'm also going to add like our timestamp. Yeah, because we're designing on iOS, designing for iOS. So yeah, I'm just going to detach this component so I can actually go in and edit it based on how I want my design to look. So yeah, I'll get a rectangle tab just so we could create our delivery tab. Honestly, we already have one here, so I'm going to increase the width of this on both sides. No. So I'm going to get our rectangle. So over here, you can have different shapes. This is if you haven't used Figma before. Just take the full width of our frame with this, so it's touching, and I'm going to give this the height of 64. Place our tab over here, bring this to the front. I just right click to bring that to the front. Centralize this tab. So our background color, I want this to be white. So I've just gone over to the right panel and clicked on white. And so for our tabs, now we have 2 tabs. So rides, change the text over here. Rides. And if you notice that because we're using MUI, it uses roboto text. So I'm going to change this to our Uber fonts. I've also highlighted the font styles that they use on Uber's design system over here. So for page titles, they use 18 font size, 24 line height, and text spacing as 0. So rides. And then we have, I think the accent color on here is black. So click on the elements, come over here to our right column and change this to black, which is Uber's design system primary color. I want to also, I hope this is an over and also layout right now. So if I duplicate this, copy and paste, yes, it should, all elements should be of the same size. So you can, as I've clicked on this, you can notice on the right panel where it says icon and label. So if it's selected, the black line would show. I'm going to deselect this. So it just shows different states. I'm going to also delete these 2 tabs. You can see that our tabs expand to fill the width, which is exactly what you want to have. This is one of the perks of having auto layouts enabled. So yeah, now that I'm almost done designing this, I will change this text over here to delivery. Uber font. Uber font. Exactly. And then I will make the background of these whites completely. Both of them. Okay. And then make the background of my tab also white. So you can see over here that it's not even a full width. So let's give it some spacing at the edge and centralize this. I'm just going to shorten the width of these so it aligns with my columns. So this should be in the middle, 59, 59. And now you notice that we don't have any icons. So if you're designing and you don't have an icon library for the project that you're working with, we can just use material icons. So if you come over here to resources and under plugins, just search for material design icons. So you can see that this is something that I've used before. It's just showing my recent. So I'm just going to run it. So you should see a panel open up over here. I'm going to search for a car icon. So honestly, this one is cute. Do I want to use this one? Does not matter. Just so you can see once you click on it, it just comes up on your design. So I'm just going to cut that and put that over here. Just going to detach this instance. Okay, so I have to paste it in the auto layout. You can see it's an auto layout over here. So if I select this and move this to the left, exactly. Delete this. Delete this. Now delivery. See if I search for a delivery icon. Okay, a bike is coming up. Maybe I should use this. What did Uber use? Food. Oh, okay. Food. I guess this looks the most like, actually this looks really tasty. Okay, so I'm going to cut this icon from here. Go into our, keep on clicking on it until you get into the auto layouts layer. Okay, this is a component. I need to detach this. So right click, detach instance. You can see that I'm in the auto layout now. I paste it over here and move this to the right. So yeah, so now we have our ride and delivery. Let me just close. I'm going to leave this panel over here. I wish I could make it smaller. Actually, now that I'm here, let me just find more icons that I would need. So I can see over here that I have a drop down icon, a time icon. I think those are the only, and the search icon. Those are the only 2 I need except for the navigation icons. So clock. Okay, that's all we need for now. So I'll close this panel. Um, so yeah, let's go into the navigation bar next. So we come over here to our material UI library, and I have over here for navigation bar. So we need 4 of them. Just going to copy this, come over to my frame, and paste this. Just going to resize it so it fits with our 375 width. Also, we have a lower tab. I'm actually going to steal this one from Uber because I forgot to include it over here. So take this, add it to my home, bring this down to, so I want to place this navigation right on top of this. Centralize this. I'm just going to make this a component on its own when I'm ready. Okay, so you can see that red line where it snaps, so you know it's the bottom. So yeah, we have 4 main pages on the navigation. So we have home, we have services, and we have activity and accounts. So the cool thing about using Material UI is because like it already has states assigned. Okay. So you can see over here that we have this little red icon over here. So the cool thing about Material UI is that like if you click on an element or a component rather, you can choose if you want it to be active. You can see the active state has this background behind it. You can also edit the states, but I'm not going to go over that in this video. So for enabled, you can choose the different states whether it's hovered, pressed, focused. You can see that it changes the way the design looks. That's really helpful for engineers when they need to know what state to use. So we can see this red badge over here. I don't want it to show like a sort of notification badge. So I'm just going to change this badge to none. So you can see that disappears. So yeah, we want to make this background white. So select the elements, come over to fill, make this white. I feel like I should have got the icons for this. So let's open our material plugin again, search for home. So yeah, I'm just going to move these to the side, hide our layout grid for now so we can see what we have here. So now we have to add the search bar list of our recent locations and suggestions. So I'm going to add our layout grid again and then a search bar. So go back to material UI building blocks, and I've added search bars here. So you can see that this search bar is, I'm just going to pick any of the ones that they provide for me. You can see that this search bar is very different from the way Uber has their search bar. So let's try to edit it here before we start adding it to our design. So the search icon is on the, with it attach this component. So we can see that it's always in an auto layout, which is great for us. So we want to move this to the left rather than the right. We want to take out this menu icon because we do not need it now. Oh, to take this, so let us take it out. Um, we want to use our Uber font, so Uber move, come back over here, back text as well. So back text, medium, 18, 24 line heights. Is this black? No, this is not black. I'm just going to use this color picker over here. I think it's okay. 4B, 4B, 4B. And text says where to, question mark. Change the color of our icon to black. So I'm going to unlink this. You can use like one of the document colors, or you can just use any color code you like to. And now I want to create this now button. So I'm going to go over to, so the button over there is what Uber calls pills. So I want to create my own pill, which is basically a height of 48 points. I think they're using 1824 as their font. Okay, now they're using 1416. So 14 points and 16 line heights. So yeah, I'm just going to bring this pill close to where I am. Actually, I don't need to do that. Let me just go back into my MUI. I don't want to cheat. So I come over to MUI. So bring that over here. I'm going to just paste this exactly. So you can see that we already have padding to the right. I think it's 4 points, and 8 up, 8 down. So yeah, but this Uber uses 16 points for their padding. So I'm going to go to the search bar, and so horizontal padding, I'm going to add 12. So from here to the end, it should be 16 exactly. Just a little bit of quick math there. So change this label to now. We want to use our drop down icon that we got from our plugin. Just cut that, bring it over here. I'm going to detach this instance so that I can customize the components. Now I want to make this an auto layout. So, okay. So I just went, well, what I did just now, I just clicked on the elements, and I pasted our drop down. So you can, so now we have an auto layout here, but we want to make it horizontal rather than vertical. So I just click on this to make it a horizontal layout. Also, let this hug the contents of now. I'm going to also make sure that it's on the same line by using, so you can see what I did there. So here it is aligned to the top, here is center, align, bottom, and so on and so forth. So yeah, just going to cut this, paste this in our button, make sure that these two are aligned properly. See how much padding we have to left and right, so 8 all around. So we also have another icon, which is the clock icon. So select my clock icon from here, cut that with Control X, come over to the auto layout that I created for this little button, and I Control V. So it's pasted at the side. So I wanted to move this to the left with my arrow keys on my keyboard. Also going to increase the width of my button. So I'm missing 2 points on this side and 1 point on this side. So I'm going to increase this by 3. 1, 2, 3. So this should say 8 all around. All right, great. Now let's fix the color. So black icons, and this is not white. This is just going to come over here, click on my fill, just use a color picker. It is white. Well, that is surprising. The contrast looks a lot different. So make my text black. Okay, my icons are black as well already. So I will cut. I'm going to make this a component again. Okay, I'm going to call it pill. So cut. Oh, I don't know if you saw that, but like to create a component, all I did was right click and then I click. It's going to undo that. Okay, so I just come over to the element I want to, the components I want to make a component, the elements that I want to make a component. Right click on it, create components. There's also shortcuts there depending on if you're using a Mac or a Windows PC. So I'm going to cut this and paste it into our auto layout on the search bar. It should just appear here. So yeah, that's created. So click on search bar. We want this field to be a gray color. So this should be E8, 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 like how it is on our Uber design system. So E8, E8, E8. So now that we've made our search bar, I'm going to make this a component as well so that I can always just reuse it wherever I want to. So create component, search bar. So now we have these two. Great way to also build your design system. So yeah, bring our search bar over to the page. So we want 16 spacing up and down. Um, I want this page to be an auto layout. So I'm just going to group these two together. I'm going to create a new rectangular frame. Um, so if this height is 56, I want 8 at the top, 8 below. Um, so I actually just found out a cool thing. So if the height here is 56, instead of doing the math, I'll just write plus 16, enter. And you see that it does that math for you. So I'm going to place this behind this element just by just dragging on my Figma board. Right click and click on send to back. And yeah, this should be, if this is aligned properly, it should be 8 below, 8 above. So I'm just going to select the two, center align it horizontally and vertically. Make the back of this rectangle white to match our. So yeah, I'm going to group the rectangle I just created and our search tab. Group these two. Also, I think the spacing in between my 4. Um, yeah, okay, I've just realized that this is not long enough. Just drag this out. I want 16 at the front, or do I do 8, 8? I think it's 16. Okay, so it's going to do this minus 8. So 16 at both sides. Okay, so now that this is a group, I want to auto layout my entire page, and I'm going to show you why I'm going to do this. So I'm going to click on this, click on the top bar, and just create an auto layout by clicking on this button. Make sure that the spacing in between layers are 0. So now, when you have an auto layout, you can do stuff like, so let's say you want to quickly add like a different section. You can just click on your auto layout and paste it there. Just move it up to change the position of the section you've just created. So I really love to design with auto layouts. It's really quick and easy, and it's just beautiful in general. Um, yeah, so now want to create our lists. So going back to our MUI. So we have some text, we have an icon on the left. Is there an icon and image? An icon, okay. So I choose this one. It's a one-liner. This is for 3 lines. Just copy this, bring it to the top. I'm going to create our components before we add it to our design. Maybe we should just focus on creating all the components and then getting to. I wish I could ask you questions if you would prefer to see me create all the components first before adding it. I think I will do that. Okay, so let me just get the components for these suggestions. So it's basically cards, right? Um, Honestly, I can just create that without, I can just choose a card. Choose a card. Okay. So right now we're going to create this list, these suggestions, and these cards. Paste. Okay. So turning material UI into Uber design system. So we have our icon, Going to copy our icon that we've created over here. Just add this, detach this instance and add that icon, push it to the left, delete this icon that we have here created by MUI. Make sure that the font sizes, font formatting is the same as Uber's. So Uber move. So this is the header font. So I know it's going to be medium. It's going to be 18, 24, 0 spacing. Let me color black. And then for text, it is 16. So Uber move 16, 0. I can't remember if this is 20 or 24. Just going to come over here. There's 24 to 24. And I'm going to name this Barbie's house. And I imagine Barbie's house. Okay, I'm going to make this color white. There's also the divider at the bottom, so I'm going to add that as well. Come over to our MUI. I should have added dividers here. Yep. So just click one of these dividers. Okay, so I'm done with our Barbie's house. I'm going to make this a component. Create components. List item should be 375 width. Make sure our divider is I'm going to make this 375. Okay. Make sure our divider is touching the edge. I'm going to make this an auto layout so I can add the copy, paste, make the one I've just pasted an auto layout as well. Create auto layouts with the plus. Make sure there's no spacing in between them. So now we have our address list. And then, so for suggestions, I'm going to create a card, 375 width, move this down. I think this should be about 64 in height. Actually, no, that's too small. Let's just say 80. Okay. And we want to create this package on ride cards. So I'm going to get a rectangle, 122. Just move this over to our frame. Actually, this is an auto layout that we created. So I'm going to cut with the X, select the auto layout and paste. So it should be directly below the last thing that we created. I'm also creating a card over here. I want to create this on here so I can use the guides. So this is the package I just created while I'm still creating. Just going to make this a different color so I can see what I'm working with. Okay, so we can see that it's about 16 padding on each side. Between them is about 24. So I'm going to make this radius 16, which is in line with um, Uber's design system. I'm going to use 8 now. Yeah, let's make this. So I'm going to make this radius 8, which is in line with Uber's design system. So bring it to the front, make sure it's 16 at the side. And I'm going to get our one of the fonts that we use for headings. So 18 and 60 and 18 point size, font size, and 64 line height. Just paste this over here. Call this package. Increase the width of this a little bit. 142. So let's get an icon. Okay, so I've just got this two isometric icons. So a box and a car for a ride and a package. I just realized the car is facing the other way, so I'm going to click on this, right click, and flip horizontal. Right. So I made this height 24. So I'm going to cut this, paste it on our rectangle, place it over here, um, 16 on both sides. Maybe just finessing this section at this point because the I'm not sure of the actual dimensions they use. I'm going to group this. Um, so I'm going to make this an auto layout as well, so we can have a different one for rides. So, okay. So I'm going to duplicate this, create an auto layout with 24 spacing in between, and then you should see that these two should be exactly the same size. Delete this. So make the background of this section white as well. We want this to be our rides. Right. Take our little car. What height are we using for this element here? 36. Change this height 36. Cuts. Paste in here. Um, 16. Okay. So next we have our suggestions, which is basically the heading that we've been using all this time. So still using page titles for our headings. But it seems that the font weight on this is heavier than bold. I'm going to name this suggestions. We also have a text button over here. Come over to our MUI buttons, text button. Copy, come back to our design, paste. So let's make sure that we're using the correct formats. Remove 16, 24, black. So there we go. See all. Yeah, this is definitely smaller than a body font. I'm going to make this 14. Make sure that these two are on the same line. Okay. And I'm going to give this 16 on each side. I'm going to group these two. Group. Going to do this. Centralize. Create auto layouts. Make the spacing in between 0. Perfect. Okay. We're going to add this to our actual frame so it doesn't keep on saying frame. Name your layers, guys. Name your layers. So this is basically a card. Let's name this home card. So I want the spacing between these two to be about 24. Yeah. Okay. So now we just need to create another card. So we're going to create a different section title, paste this, bring this to the bottom, say ways to save with Uber. Let's see all. So ways to save with Uber 16. Add another card. So yeah, we're creating this card. So I take our auto layer, I take our MUI card, and so it's basically we don't need this detach instance. Delete that. We also do need buttons. Remove this from the card. See, because it uses auto layout, everything just snaps into position. We don't need this text as well. This is too high. Oh, 16 on the bottom. Okay, so we want this background to be white. We don't want any borders as well. Okay, so this is layer content container. We want to hide that stroke. Hide this stroke as well. Background is white. We want to make the corner radiuses all the same. So select this, the media, expand this bottom 16, bottom 16. Okay. So change this to the Uber font. Is it 16 or 8? I think we might have overdone. We might have done too much. It is 8. Is it 8? 12? Okay, it looks like it's 12. Okay, now change this to our Uber Move font. Also change this to our Uber Move font. So this is regular, it should be 16, 24, 0. That's good to go. This should be medium, 18, 24, 0. All right. So yeah, share your ride, text, share the ride, share the cost. Okay, we want to add like a little icon arrow. So open our material design icon. Okay. I'm going to make these two an auto layout. Add them on the same line. Reduce this. You can also like add, I'll just add 4 spacing between them. Okay, so now we have our card. So I'm just going to screenshot this image because I don't want to have to start looking for an image to add. So I'll just screenshot this. Copy it. I'll paste it into our image. Perfect. So pull this over to our design. Wow, the the dimensions are way off. Okay. Let's make this smaller. I'm just going to go off screen to clean up my design a little bit. Just adjust my proportions. Since I'm building without Uber's design system. Okay, so I just went off screen to adjust my spacing, my icon sizes as well. This is what happens when you don't use a dedicated design system because I'm just creating the components as I go. I have to make sure that everything is uniform. So yeah, and I'm going to create an auto layout to create this other card before we move to the next screen, which is booking a ride. So Alt Shift to duplicate. I'm going to create an auto layout with the 8th spacing in between them. Cut this frame and paste it back on my. Just going to move this to my actual frame. So 16 on the side, 8 spacing between. Yeah. So add a stop or 5. Okay. Um, So yeah, that's basically it for our homepage. Delete this. So let me open it up in a prototype. Let's see what that looks like. So this prototype mode, and I'll just play it. So let's see what that looks like. Yeah, so we have an Uber app. We have an Uber